Hi everybody, all zodiacs, Morgainne, happy new moon in Aries, happy April. Welcome to your 13th element for the month of April. In case I haven't explained it yet, the reason why I refer to it as the 13th element to this monthly video, first is the obvious. I do 12 videos for 12 zodiac signs, and this is the 13th video, hence the 13th element. Second, 13th is the total of my birth date. 13 is the total of my birth name. And I have the number 13 tattooed on my left ankle, alongside the phrase Carpe Diem, seize the day. And 13 is the number that represents the card, the death card in the tarot deck. No, it's not as morbid as it sounds. 13, the death card, represents remembering life by being conscious and aware of the existence of death. When we know everything is temporary, when we know there's a time limit on this lifetime, then we have this urge, this need to prove something. Maybe it's to prove something to ourselves, to be, leave something to be remembered by. So it gives us, the encouragement and kind of the fire to keep us moving and keep us going and trying to do our best and trying to fulfill our goals, etc. To prove something in the eyes of the God that we believe in. Some of us believe in heaven and hell. Some of us believe in reincarnations. Whatever it is that we believe in, we need to prove ourselves in this lifetime to gain something better in the next, right? And for those of us who are complete atheists, I'm certain you're not here, because if you don't believe in anything, why would you watch me? But maybe you're skeptical and you're starting to ask questions, and you kind of found me by mistake, right? So even for you, if there's nothing out there, then you want to make the most of the something that you have now, right? Either way, knowing that there is death keeps us on top of our life, of our living. Okay? When we forget that we're going to die, we don't do much for our life. Okay? It's when we remember with respect, not with darkness, not with negativity or pessimism, like, oh, I'm going to die. No, with honor. Honor to the unknown, hence honor to the existing and to the known. So for me, alongside the phrase Carpe Diem, 13 just symbolizes all of that. I know in Christianity, some people say, in Christianity, I think it symbolizes bad luck, but in Judaism, it's actually a holy number, again, of life. So, yeah, that's why I call this the 13th element. Now that we got that out of the way, now that we understand that, I have a special announcement that I'm excited about. You must have read the headline for this video. Tarot Masterclass. I am starting a tarot card reading masterclass. I will be teaching how to read tarot online right here on this channel. The way it's going to go. Every Sunday, as of next Sunday, April 22nd. Okay, that will be the launch. So Sunday the 22nd will be the first class, the introduction class for tarot. I will divide each class, it's a weekly. Once a week on a Sunday, I will have 2 videos. First video, the one that you can see on my channel, on my YouTube channel. Second video, the continuance of that class. Class number 1, video A. Class number 1, video B. Video B, the second video of the same class, will be on my Vimeo channel. Okay? I will guide you to it next week on the class, so don't worry about it right now. But the difference between the 2 videos is such. First video will be what you can normally read in books, only better. The technicalities, What does this card mean? What does it mean? When you see it in a spread, what does it tell you? Yes, no, maybe, and everything that is in between. What is the answer? Okay? The second video, I will delve more into it. What do I mean by delving more into it? I will give the spiritual lesson of the card, spiritual lesson, karmic lesson, etc. The mythological aspect of the card, derived from the Greek mythology. The archetypes, the ancient archetypes behind each card. The numerology, the philosophy, the essence. What is the Fool, the card of the Fool, is going through right now when it arrives to this X card that we're talking about? Okay? Both videos are necessary. If you want to just know on the surface what tarot cards are, first video is enough. If you are serious about your spiritual journey, not to say that you have to become a tarot reader. This is not just for people who want to become professional tarot readers. Tarot is about a spiritual evolution, spiritual awareness. Not just spiritual awareness, awareness of the self. I will go into it. Okay? Tarot is not just about fortune telling. Actually, it's a very small aspect of it. But you could say that on the first video I will touch that. Okay? So if all you want to know is just what it means, what the answer is, then you can watch just that. But if you want to go through a real journey and or really know how to read cards, the thing that you will not read in any book, because what I will give you is a combination of a lot of knowledge, a lot of ancient knowledge from different sources, from different cultures, from different time frames. I will give you my own intuitive guidance and knowledge of the card. And the small different interpretations that, every card has its meaning, its main meaning, but also small little meanings, connotations, I like to refer to it, okay? That comes up depending on the cards next to it, the interaction, the language with the other cards, or the connection with the type of question, okay? One card can mean many different things, and you can only know what it is according to either the type of question and or the cards that come up around it, okay? The interaction, the other elements, of course, the elements. So this is not to say that the first video will be nothing. The first video is the foundation. It's something that you need to know. But personally, I don't think it's enough, but it's up to you. Watch the first one. If you feel like you're good, you're done, you're set, wait for next week for the next one, okay? If you feel like you want and need and know that there is more, go to the next video, okay? To the second video, second part. You will see an example next week, okay? Next week I will start with the introduction to tarot cards. I will explain what it is, how a classic deck is divided, why it's divided in that manner, and what it means, okay? And in the second part of the same first class, I will go more into the essence of the tarot. What is their purpose in our life? What is their purpose in general? How does it even work? Technically, how does it work? How does a card comes up and it tells you something and you're supposed to believe it? Or how does it find the strength to the knowledge or to the truth or to the energy and translates it? How does it do that? I will give you a little bit of a taste. Tarot cards are a piece of cardboards. It's paper with pretty paintings. It's just cards. How can they mean anything? How can they mean anything? You can ask the same thing about language, about letters. It's just a formation of lines and dots. Letters? How can it mean anything? It's just ink on paper. But it means something. Because the way it is laid and the way you've learned to read them, someone wrote it on the paper. Now you read it and you know what they meant. The truth is written in the cards. It exists without the cards. The cards are an instrument, a tool, a language to allow us to read what there is out there and what there is inside, right? The cards read our exterior world. The cards read our inner world, our subconscious, our karma, our conscious, what we think. What we think, what we don't know we think. They just show it to us clearly in ways that we can interpret. And it's pretty majestic. I am in awe every time they say something that just really strongly resonates with the person in front of me or with me. They are guides. Again, the fortune telling is a very small aspect of it. I will go deeper into it in our first class. Right now, I just wanted to kind of announce, and I took note to myself to not delve too much into it and not actually start the introduction class, because I want to build it right for you guys, and I am building it right for you guys. A little bit about me. Why do you want to learn from me? If you want to learn from me, or just in case you're curious, I started the technical aspect of learning tarot about 13 years ago in Israel. My first teacher was Sagi Mendelboim. He's in Israel. He's a Gemini, by the way. Hi, Sagi, if you're watching. We ended up working a lot together on different projects. For me, it was accidental. I went to his class just to know, because I was curious, because I was always curious from birth. To the esoteric, to the occult, to astrology, to numerology, to healing, to spirituality, to dreams, to tarot, to runes, to everything. Everything I found to be amazing and inspiring and fascinating, and I just wanted to know. But I didn't plan on becoming a tarot reader. It's also not the only thing I'm doing today. I'm also an actress. I'm also a producer. I'm also a writer. I'm also a martial artist. But the tarot, when I went to study it, something kind of took over the journey. Every time he didn't want to give a reading to someone, he told them to come to me when I was a student. And it kind of generated from there. And so I started doing private sessions, and I started doing bachelorette parties and companies gatherings. At one point, they called me from an organization, wanted me to come and lecture about spirituality. I always combined spirituality with science, the metaphysics with practicality. I never saw them to be anything different other than just being two different languages for the same existence that is our existence. Okay? For me, spirituality, the metaphysics, the energy is what's behind the matrix. Okay? So what's behind the matrix? It's actually real life. And the matrix, the life that we are living, the illusion in front of us, that is people, the things, it's not completely an illusion. It's very much real. We're living it. We're in it. It's like asking, what is real, the dream or the daytime awaken? Both. both. And I believe that if you want to lead a full life, you want to learn and study both. Okay? Spirituality is a tower where the first floors are this 3D world. Our relationships, our jobs, our homes, our families, just life. That is unstable, and you push up and up and up in spirituality, but your foundations are not stable. Your psychology, your psychic, your emotional realm, your cognitive realm, just your daily reality, survival, expression. That's unstable. Your spiritual studies will be unstable, which is why I will take you through it really responsibly. I have a very, very specific mechanism to how I teach. I have students one-on-one. Either they come to me to my apartment or I have them on Skype. But not everybody can afford it. And I want to open it up to the world. The way I see tarot. The way many lovely tarot readers see tarot, the real way. Unfortunately, there's a lot of nonsense out there. Or there's a lot of partial truths out there. Just the expression of the fortune telling. Just the expression of what will be, how it was. Come on. This is not about this. If you want to be a fortune teller, look at the first videos. If you want to be a shaman, spiritual guide, a healer, a self-healer and other healer, someone who is aware both of his practical world and his spiritual world, energetic world, I am really hoping that you will also dive into the second part of each class. Right? So it's a total of 2 videos every week on a Sunday. Okay, I was saying about myself. So with the teacher with which I started learning from and how, things kind of rolled, I also ended up co-writing a tarot book with him. He was the main author, and I wrote about 20-30% of the book. And it's right here. It's called the Guide to Reading in Tarot Cards. You won't understand it because it's Hebrew unless you read Hebrew, and then hi, Manishma. Yeah, just in case you think I'm making this up. I don't know. So this is my biography at the end of the book. Morgainne, blah blah blah. Talks a little bit about me. Yeah, you can see here Existential Shifter. Yeah. So I want to say you can trust me, though I hate saying that because I guess you'll just see it as we go. If you're following my regular monthly tarot scopes, then I'm hoping you already know that you can trust me. My interpretations of the cards are from what I learned. They work because those are the interpretations that I understand. What I'm saying is that if another reader elsewhere has a different interpretation to a card, maybe similar, maybe completely different, if maybe you are yourself a reader and you're watching because you want to expand your knowledge, if you know the card to be completely something different and you're like, what is he saying that? It doesn't matter. As I was saying, the cards are a language. If I speak English, they will speak to me in English. If you speak Chinese, they will speak to you in Chinese. What does that mean? The message that needs to be conveyed will be conveyed. If that message speaks to me in the form of card X, I will receive card X. If to you it speaks in the form of card Y, a different card, you will receive card Y. The cards will know how to speak to you. With time, you will also develop your own language with the cards. Okay, we will also learn how to intuitively read them. This will be a combination of technical reading, just the basic interpretation, and intuitive reading, archetypical reading, the archetypes, and mythology, the Greek mythology. I go according to the Greek mythology. This is my secret door to my secret world. Not so secret anymore. Oh well. So this is the Mythic Tarot. It's a great book by Julia Truman Burke. I just wanted to make sure that I say the entire name right. And Liz Green. And this focuses on just the Greek mythology interpretations of the cards. This will be one aspect of our studies. I'm very much excited about this because I'll get to kind of convey everything that I know about tarot and everything that I learned and learned from professionals, from amazing people, and self-taught, and kind of developed myself. It's going to be a really, really intense, wholesome kind of studies of the tarot. Numerology is in it. Astrology is in it. Even Kabbalah is in it. Buddhism is in it. Different symbols from different cultures. There are over 3,000, probably grown since the last time I read the statistics, but there are thousands of types of tarot decks out there. Thousands from different cultures, from different times. There are endless of stories of what the origin of the tarot is. There isn't one proof to say this comes from this. But there are lovely theories that no one can prove. Everybody wants to claim responsibility. They say it comes from the I Ching, but they also say it comes from Egypt, and they also say it comes from China, and they also say it comes from Europe. I will touch briefly on that, only briefly, because in my view it doesn't really matter. What matters is the essence of them, and also even if I have a very specific point of view, I can't prove it historically, so I'd rather not talk about something that I can't necessarily prove. But all theories are beautiful and legit as long as you give them the respect of being spiritual guides and truth tellers. We will touch on the mechanism, but we will mostly touch on the essence, and I will show you how to read their essence. Okay? Towards the end, we'll probably go into learning different types of reading, you know, Celtic Cross, questions, SOS, there's all kinds of readings. The last type of reading that I will try to teach you, and I'll explain why I do this, is the intuitive reading. The reason I say this is because teaching you to do intuitive readings is only after you reach a certain level at your journey in reading tarot where you understand them so well and you've developed such a great communication with them and in your own language that you guys just speak. You don't need the dogma of the type of reading. Okay? But we will get there. We will get there. Let's not jump ahead. What else? Okay. I will probably repeat this in the introduction for tarot next week, but I will say a little bit now that, just so you know, I'm going to start with the minor arcana. The majors will come last. Why? What I said about spiritual growth. I believe that if we run fast in the spiritual journey and don't work on the foundations, many of us will go through real crisis, fear almost, and we'll be forced by the universe and by the energy to go back and fix our foundations, which is our psychology, our fears, our emotions, our daily stability. From money to relationships, doesn't matter. But you need to be a very stable person. I was about to say personality, but I don't believe in that. You need to have an energetic spine. Okay? You need to learn how to not be shaken off easily. You need to kind of shed the notions of good, bad, happy, sad, and all those things that have to do with our circumstances, and develop your spine, your energetic spine, your emotional spine, your cognitive spine, to allow you to be very, very stable when you walk this path of life, especially if you're learning the spiritual aspects of everything. You need that stability. So we will learn that step by step. We will go through the elements. We will build it really, really right, and we will grow together. Okay, so I'm really, really excited about this. So that was my special announcement. If you have any questions, please comment or email me, and I will try to respond as much as possible. If I feel like it's an important question that can speak to everybody. And one more announcement that I'm also excited about, but I will give further details in the actual tarot scopes that I will start coming the end of April in about a week. I am going to start doing extended readings for the zodiacs as well. This is all on top of what I'm doing. This is not instead. You guys will still have your monthly tarot scopes for all the zodiacs. I will still be doing what I'm doing. I'm just expanding and adding and growing. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. If I left out something, then I will just say it in the introduction. And oh, okay. Background about myself. I didn't finish. I'm sorry. So because I don't like to do the checklist of, you know, looking at what it is that I'm supposed to say in advance in the video, because even though it might be practical and great and then I don't forget anything, but it also kind of puts me in this structure that really limits me, because when I don't have a list and when I just talk, things that I didn't expect to come out, whereas, which is great, whereas if I have a list and I'm extremely only focused on the list, and then there's no room for magic. And we like to leave room for magic, right? Okay. So what I forgot to also mention when it comes to who I am in this, you know, journey, spiritual journey. So I'm a tarot reader, professional tarot reader. As an astrologer, I'm not a professional astrologer. Okay, I don't read charts, and I can't tell you everything about the angles of the planets and all that, but I have vast general knowledge. I have deep knowledge and deep understanding, both technical and also intuitive, on the zodiacs themselves, on their characters and what motivates them, what leads them, what, you know, what carries them, and the way they look at life. I understand your element. I understand your character. I understand your essence. I understand you, zodiacs. But I've never actually studied astrology. Numerology. So, interesting. That's probably the most interesting story when it comes to this realm of mine. When I was a kid, I really understood numbers. If you were to tell me your date of birth, I'm sorry, I'm going to close this. If you were to tell me your numbers, your date of birth, your name, and I would add the numbers up, I would just know things. I would just know things about you. And when I say know things, I don't mean like your mother's name, what you had for breakfast yesterday. No, I mean about the essence of your soul, about the DNA of your soul, about your karma, about your lessons, about your past lifetimes. Again, not what was your name and where did you live and what did you do. Not that kind of past lifetimes. I mean, what was your soul's journey? Where you are at on your soul's journey. Like, I would know stuff. And then I started reading numerology books just because, well, I understand numbers. And on top of that, I was really like, I would count everything. I loved math. Math and numerology, it's not the same thing. Those are equations and yada yada. And that's like just, you know, the soul of the number, what it means, character and soul. So I started reading books about numerology. And the more I read, the more I felt horrible, because all the books said the opposite or really different, or just didn't speak the way I spoke the numbers. So I started thinking that maybe I made all this up, maybe I'm just crazy, maybe what I know or think I know about numbers is not true, because all the books are different. So throughout my teenage years, when I would read books about numerology, I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore because it makes me feel like an idiot, and kind of left it alone. So I left it inside of me. If I was to know someone's date of birth, I would have had an immediate understanding of them. But I would tell myself, it's your imagination. Because professional numerologers and books don't speak the way you speak with numbers. And then I read a book in English about ancient numerology. It was the first type of book that I read about numerology like that. It was completely different. It was during my 20s. And everything I thought I knew about numbers was written there. I was like, whoa. So I'm not imagining someone else out there wrote this, and they also know this, and this is actually ancient. It's the most ancient type of numerology before the numerology we know. Thank you. You know, to know that you're not crazy. So my numerology is intuitive. It's just inside of me. Sometimes it corresponds with what you will read online and in the books. Many times it won't. But every time I say to someone something from their numbers, it resonates. I don't always say because it doesn't always come to me. When it does, I say it. That's why I always ask for your date of birth, because it gives me a very deep understanding of you. And that's my relationship with numerology. Reiki. I'm a Reiki 2 healer. I can send healing by touch, and I can send healing from distance. I'm not a Reiki master. Not yet, anyway. Runes. I'm a rune lord. I read runes. I have a long path to go with runes. I have a long path to go with runes. But they are probably the instrument outside of numbers that most touch my DNA. Morgainne Le Fay, you know, it's Celtic. My name, Morgainne, Mor means ocean, Gain means warrior. So the interpretation in Gaelic, I mean, it's either sea warrior, or it can also mean water fairy. And Morgainne Le Fay was Lady of the Lake of the island of Avalon. She was also King Arthur's sister, and she was a high priestess, a herbalist, a healer. Some cultures refer to her as a sorceress, a witch. There's all kinds of points of view of her, good, bad, and all that jazz. She is life, as all real spiritual shaman workers. So she's both. She's the yin and the yang. I'm the yin and the yang. Real spiritual work is light and dark. It's yin and yang. It's feminine and masculine. It's life. Okay? When you don't acknowledge the wholesome of life, you don't acknowledge life. And how can you pretend to preach or teach about life if you don't understand life? All right? I'm also a dream interpretator. Interpretator? Is that a word? Did I just invent a word? I'm sorry, my English is not my first language. Lucid dreamings, etc. I can guide with dreaming. Maybe we'll have a special one time about just dreams and dream interpretations. I'm sorry, this is from karate. No one's hitting me. It's from blocking. Okay? I did a video a couple months ago, and then I rewatched it. And I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna think someone's hitting me. Well, yeah, but like not in a bad way. It's like it's at a dojo. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so there's the dreams, there's the runes, there's the numbers, there's the Reiki, and there's the tarot, which is what I will teach you. I will teach you all the rest also in between. I will always talk wholesome, especially in the second portions of the class, because cards are wholesome, okay? And I will use the Rider-Waite Tarot, classic tarot of 78 cards. I have many decks, but for the teaching, I will use this one. It's the easiest one to learn with. And these are huge. Those are the cards that oh, the moon. And 4 Pentacles again. What do you want to say? I want to have the sun in front of me. Let's have the sun. They're very big because I use them for lectures and bachelorette parties and women's cycles evening that I host in my apartment occasionally. They're big and you can see them clearly, so that's what I will be teaching with. We will have one card each time, so we will be really delving into each card, and every few weeks I will stop and conclude. Yeah, it will be great. Okay, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to talk to you about the extended readings, but I will do so in the first Taroscope for May. I'm conflicted whether to start with Taurus because it's your birthday, my birthday, our birthday, or Cancer because Cancer gave me the most amount of views for April. So far, Cancer are really ahead. So it will be either this or that. Maybe I'll do them with short proximity. It will kind of be both. Anyway, so you learned a little bit about me and my background with tarot. Oh, shamanism, the teachings of Don Juan by Carlos Castaneda. Yeah, I'm very deep in that as well. Yeah, we're gonna talk a lot. It's gonna be cool. Anyway, you've seen my Sacred Door, seen my book that I wrote. I want to show you this as well, just because I think it's really cool. This is the little thingy that this is the place and cup that I use as a candle. This is actually for all the zodiacs. It's like for reading, in the coffee. I bought it in Salem last year. I think it's super cool. What does it say? Okay, so wouldst thy fortune like to see? Purchase this cup while show it thee. Okay, yeah, that's my fortune telling cup. I don't do fortune tellings. I will explain the difference between that and tarot readings in our first masterclass for tarot. It's not my first time teaching tarot. I have students. Very few. I really pick and choose because when it's one-on-one, it's a real badass of a journey. But this will be the first time that I'm really expanding into the realm of the internet. So we'll see how you guys like it. All right? Okay. So have a wonderful week. Until then, until I start May's Taroscope and our introduction class to tarot cards next week. And thank you for being a part of the existential shift. I write philosophical and spiritual segments on my Instagram profile. It's called The Existential Shifter. So you are welcome to follow, to have another aspect of my journey. And that's it. All right, everybody. See you around.